Alright, it's time to show you the final result of the portable sink box. I think it's pretty cool. Let's start at the very beginning. Here is what the trunk originally looked like when I bought it from the thrift store, alright? It's got some type of fabric on the inside, and the black exterior is also a fabric. So I've got to rip all of this off, okay? Now the red fabric had a paper backing. There's no getting that off, not completely, so I'm going to sand it down as flush as I can and then just Kilt's primer over it. Here you can see that it, even when the paper came off, it left some glue residue. Same for the outside, lots of glue residue. So here it is in raw form. I cannot take the hardware off. It's like riveted on, so you can't like unscrew it and take it out. So we're just gonna have to work around that. And yeah, it's gonna need a good sanding. Here it is, completely sanded. Now you can see in a minute there's still paper on the lid, on the inside of the lid, but that's fine. I'll just Kilts over it, like I said. I got it off as much as possible, and then I was like, okay, I'm done. I didn't worry too much about sanding the inside smooth because it's going to get like a million layers of paint and primer. This is the primer I'm using, and yeah, I'm going to put a lot of layers on the inside only, not on the outside. Now I went and bought this sheet of like plywood, thin plywood, because you can see there's holes in each corners. That was some tiny little feet that I had to remove. So we're going to make another bottom to slide down inside there, and we'll just glue it together. And of course, here is the CEO of this project. He's just keeping an eye on making sure I stay on track. There I have cut out my the floor piece that I said I was going to do, and I'm just priming each side of it. I'm not going to put it in until I add this marine paint. I'm going to add marine paint all on the inside of the trunk, and I'm going to add marine paint to both sides of the additional floor piece that I cut, or base piece, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so we did a lot of sitting and waiting and watching paint dry. A lot. And it was hot. And so we just chilled out here with our water in front of the fan, and we got some cuddles in, got to know each other. And you can see here how tiny he was. This was maybe day 2 or day 3 after I found Bo, and he's just so tiny. And wait till the end of the video, you'll see that he's like doubled in size, guys. He does not particularly like the heat. I don't know if it's because he's so young and because his fur is black. Maybe he gets hot quicker, but he gets hot pretty fast, and so we have to take breaks and go inside. Um, hopefully it's just a natural thing, and he'll grow up and be more used to hot weather. Now here I've painted the inside. Yes, I've got some grass in there, some pine needles, but it's all right. There's a lot more layers to come. Working with this marine paint is pretty hard, okay? Because it's very thin, so it makes a huge mess. But it dries very slick and very durable. So, yeah. Here is Bo taking a nap on the job. He really likes his naps. We're going to get along just fine, buddy, because Mom likes her naps too. He's adorable. He's so adorable. Now it's time to add the drain. The first of 2 drains, because spoiler alert, I messed this drain up. We'll get to that in a minute. But I've just drew my circle here, and I'm going to make a pilot hole with the drill bit thingy, and then just cut it out with my jigsaw. And there it is, already done. But we're going to have to do this again because, like I said, I messed it up. Now I'm going to add some feet. These feet actually came off of the desk that I used in the van. So yeah, we're reusing. No waste. And look at how cute. It looks like one of the old floor model TVs. I don't know. I like it. And the feet, I can take them off and on. I can store them inside the trunk if they're in the way, you know, when I'm traveling. They go right off and on with no problems. Here I have added my drain in, and I'm just going to do a water test, just, you know, to make sure that it does hold water before I go any further in this process. I've also added some silicone to all of the edges and up, you know, each corner all the way up to the top. This is going to get more layers of marine paint over it, so I'm not too worried about if that's going to flake off or not, because it's going to be covered. Here I'm just checking for leaks, and I'm all excited here because there's no leaks. And I'm like, yes, I got this on the first try. I am super awesome. And I'm patting myself on the back, and I'm like, hoorah, we did it. And it holds water. Everything seems to be doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. And yeah, I'm pretty excited at this point. So now we just need to pull the plug out and let it drain. There's going to be a longer drain. I just, you know, for video purposes, I'm just using the small piece here. And it drains so pretty, and I'm all excited. And then I looked down underneath of it, and I noticed that when I pulled the plug, I had a leak. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense at all, because it's just draining straight down. How do I have a leak? But I'll show you. So here I'm about to realize that I have a leak. And I'm going to show you. Do you see it? Right there? Yep. This is a plastic drain, okay? So when I tightened it with my big old meaty pliers, I cracked it. I tightened it too tight, okay? I'm strong like Popeye. I eat my spinach. And I don't know my own strength, so it's cracked. And that's no good. There's no way to fix that. And so I'm just going to have to take this drain out. Do you see the leak there? Right there. Just leaking as pretty as you please. And we can't have that. If it was going to be all outside, it might be okay. But it's going to be used inside too, so we cannot have a crack. And there, I'm trying to pull it apart to show you. It's a pretty good crack there. So I thought that I was going to have to just go to Lowe's and buy another one and start over, and then maybe just don't tighten it as tight, because there's really not a lot of small drains to choose from at the hardware store. You know, this isn't an ordinary sink. We're kind of just making it up, and most things for sinks at a hardware is like a one-fits-all kind of thing. And that's just not the case in the sink that we're building. So I remembered I had ordered this huge drain from Temu. Now, when I ordered it, I did not know it was this big. It's massive. And that's why I decided to go to Lowe's and buy a smaller one, because I was like, this is like overkill for my tiny sink here. But you know what? This big drain is all metal. Look how deep that is. It's all metal. So it doesn't matter how much I tighten it, it's not going to break loose. It's all one solid piece. And so I'm just going to use it. All right. Just going to go with the large drain. At least I don't have to worry about getting clogs, right? Because everything's just going to fall right out. So yeah, I just need to cut my hole in my sink base just a little bit bigger and just install this drain. It also came with that nice little strainer basket to catch any debris. And Yeah, a nice durable lid here. I'm pretty sure this is like a drain you would find in a commercial restaurant. And so, yeah, we're just going to use this. Of course, Bo, he's still making sure Mom stays on track. Now, something else I noticed, the small drain is tapered. It has a tapered edge. And I noticed that when I installed it, and I almost didn't use it because of that. And you can see this big one, it's not tapered, okay? The tapered ones are for like your bathroom sinks. Your bathroom sinks, they have a curve to them, and your commercial sinks are usually flat and squared off. So a taper is no good for those. And if you think about it, if you've ever worked in a restaurant, I'm basically building a miniature version of a commercial restaurant sink. Okay? It's flat and squared. Well, rectangled, but still it's squared, you know. And so I need a drain that is not tapered. A tapered one will make the drain stick up too high above the surface, and then your water won't drain out completely. So now I've just traced the entire edge of my drain, and then I come in about, I don't know, what is that, a half an inch? I don't know. I came in a little ways and drew a circle. That way I have something to glue to. All right, I'm talking way too much. Just watch what I'm doing. I don't know how to explain this. The hardest part of making these YouTube videos for me is talking to the camera. Okay, I never know what to say. I feel completely awkward. And by not knowing what to say, I say too much random stuff. I get way too chatty. And so, yeah, I cut that out, and I'm just sanding down to make the edges smooth. And now my big drain fits in my little baby sink. Actually, though, it's quite a nice size sink if you think about it. Now, here, I didn't show this earlier, so I'm showing you what kind of silicone I used. Don't know if it's exactly the right kind, but it's 100% silicone, so I figured it would work. And you can see there where I put all of the silicone. Now, this part, I like to make unnecessary work for myself. I like to make messes. You can add this part or not. You could just paint over all the silicone, add a couple more layers of the marine paint and be done, but I have to be extra. So I'm taking this horse quartz sand. That's kind of hard to say. Horse quartz sand, all right? I painted a fresh layer of marine paint down. Then I took the sand and I sprinkled it over the wet paint. I let that dry, and then I painted over it several more times. And this just gives it a rugged edge. I got to thinking that, maybe some of my dishes, like a fork or something, might stab into the paint. Okay, so I thought this would make it more rugged. It's kind of like I made a rhino truck bed liner for my sink. So it's very industrial. The primer and the marine paint that I used, both were very runny and oil based and almost impossible to wash off your hands. Like my craft paints, I use a little Dawn and a scrubby pad, and the paint comes right off. This stuff does not come off. Okay, it when it gets on your skin, it is on your skin. And you can see here, I'm showing you, like, the soap didn't even turn blue. Right, I mean, it wasn't even taking a hint of it all. Now, I buy this stuff from Dollar General, okay, to remove sticky residue from items. It tells you plainly on the back, do not get it on your skin, yada yada yada. But if you accidentally dump it on you by accident, like, don't do it on purpose, all right, don't panic. Just rub your hands together under some cold water, okay, and then rinse it, and it takes it right off. And then if your hands still feel a little slick, add a little bit of Dawn and rub it together, and then run it through this cold water again, and that will take this chemical right off your skin. So, you know, if by accident you spill this stuff on your hands, it's not the end of the world. Some people might have a little redness or tenderness, but it's fine, okay? Don't panic. We're going to use that same piece of plywood that I used earlier for the sink base, and we're going to cut some panels out for the lid, okay? So I tried to save this part as close to the end as possible because it feels the most intimidating. Everything I build and do is like a hair out of square or 1,000 hairs out of square. But this has to be put in the perfect spot, all right? So that's a little daunting for me. But I did quite a nice job. Um, yeah, the lid closes, and that was the main goal right there, that the lid would close. And then I was worried about drilling my hole straight and my faucet would be slanted, but I did pretty good. And I have just enough room behind there to screw my water pipe onto. Yeah, like that. I actually didn't even think about that when I was putting it in, and I just looked up and there was just enough room for me to add it on. Nothing is glued yet. I'm just going to do a water test before I glue everything into place, because once I glue it, it is there, okay, and there's going to be no ungluing it. So I did multiple water tests before permanently attaching anything. There we have it. We have nice water flow. It is centered right over the drain, exactly where I wanted it. And yeah, totally ecstatic over this. I know it's just a sink. It's water pouring into a bucket, but I'm just tickled pink over this at how well it's coming together. Let me know in the comments, what do you think so far? I'm very proud to say that this drain install passed the leak test. It doesn't leak, not one drop. It works perfectly. Now it's time to glue all of this piping together, all right? That makes it permanent, that makes it done. And I need to try to figure out how to glue in the center to keep the faucet spigot from spinning. So I'm going to try using that Gorilla Glue. We'll see how it goes. And now I got this stain for $2 at the Mist Tint shelf at Lowe's. And I'm just going to add that on here just to richen up the color. Okay, you can see some before and afters. And I just think it gives the exterior more depth. Okay, it brings it to life. And it kind of blends in the deeper tones of the legs and the wooden inserts on the lid. This polyacrylic, it was a full can. I got it for $1 at the thrift store, and I just added several layers over the entire exterior of the trunk, and it looks so sleek now. I think it looks beautiful. I have accessorized my sink box to have a spot for everything, and look at it. It's so adorable, y'all. It's a portable sink, and it's self-contained. Everything will pack up on the inside of the trunk and locked away for easy storage. Woo! All right, so let's talk about the sink. All right, I think it turned out pretty awesome. And yes, I could have just went and bought a portable sink, maybe for the same price, maybe not. I mean, this probably cost It was the paint that cost. It was $23 for a quart, and I used a quart and a half. Okay. You could have used a quart, but I like to go overboard. So I put a lot of layers of marine paint in here. But I got these little baskets from the Dollar Tree. I had this little shelf here, so I just added it to the side. Some vintage hardware for some towels. And yeah, this is what we ended up with. And for the drain, so I've got this drain, okay, and it'll screw on to the drain under there. But then I also bought this flat discharge hose. That way I can hose clamp it to this, cut it down to size, and then run my drain to wherever, another bucket where I can dispose of it properly if it's something that can't go onto the ground. And then for my water pump, I've just got one of these submersible water pumps from Temu. And for today, we're just going to use a bucket of water. And then this, it had a shower hose on it, but I took the shower hose off. And this just screws onto here. I probably need to put some plumber's tape, but for today, I'm not going to. I need to put plumber's tape here and plumber's tape under there too, but I don't have any plumber's tape. I keep forgetting to buy it when I go to the store. So yeah, I'm going to get my drain connected, and then I'll turn this on and let you see that it works. Oh, I think something bit me. Sitting in ants, sitting in ants. All right, so all I have to do is turn this on. All right, and then turn this on. And I have water. Okay. Water. And just for the video purposes, I just have it draining out right in front here so you can see it. But yeah, look, it works. And this is just what I have it drawing water from right now. Just in a bucket here. Just went to the Dollar Tree and I found these baskets. And they fit perfectly. Well, my plants are in the way right now. But so I have this long one here, and it just fits right in the top, so I can let dishes dry there or rinse some big ears of corn. And then these two little baskets, I can have one basket or I can have two baskets. And yeah, this is just a vintage soap or sponge holder. I think it was a soap holder that I got at the thrift store a long time ago, and I thought it just looked cute hanging down in there, and my spongy can sit and dry. Then I just used some vintage hardware here and added it for holders for wet rags and a hand towel. And I'm thinking about maybe putting a little mirror there. So something else that I would like to add, you know, I put some glue in the center, but it's, you know, it still can move a little bit. So I got to come up with some kind of idea to strap this somewhere just to give it a little more protection. I mean, it's pretty, solid, but I'd like for it to be a little more solid if possible. Yeah, and like I said earlier, this came with a shower head on it. I took it off. I still have the shower head, so I can totally use this as a shower as well. But yeah, so I need to think of something for that. And I would also like to explore some filters. Maybe I will most likely upgrade this sometime or another. And I'd like to have a flexible hose like this. And I may use this and cut it and splice it together. But that way I can add some kind of filter to it. And then if I need to draw water out of, I don't know, a creek or a lake or whatever, it can run through a filter. I won't be drinking it, but even washing my fresh fruits and vegetables, I'd like to have clean filtered water for that. So that is something that I'm pondering, and it will be an upgrade to the sink. All right, guys, so that is it. That is my portable sink. And I mentioned earlier that, yeah, I could have just went out and bought one and saved myself the time and energy, but I like to, I don't know, I like to create things. I like to challenge myself. I like to take something like this wooden trunk and see if I can give it a new purpose, okay? Who would make a sink out of a wooden trunk? So it's a conversational piece, you know. It's not just an ordinary sink. It has history. And I made it, right? I designed it and made it myself. And I don't know, it brings me joy to do stuff like that. So yeah, I would rather spend 2 weeks making a sink out of trash rather than order one on Amazon. So there you have it. I appreciate y'all being patient with me as I tried to get this project done. I know it took me longer than expected, but we have a new addition to the family, and he has been taking up a lot of my time. If you look at the clips from the first of this video versus now, he is like twice the size. I've had him for 9 days, and he is like twice the size, okay? He was like skin and bones when I found him. In case you missed the story, somebody dumped him on the side of the road. I found him, brought him home, and then took him to the vet. They're guesstimating he was about 6 or 7 weeks, so right now he's about 7, 8 weeks. And they're saying he's a border collie mix. I don't really care what he is, but I did order one of the DNA kits for him, and it's I'm going to be sending it off Monday. And when it comes back in a few weeks, it'll tell us everything about him, even a full genetic health report to tell me what, you know, what he might get as he gets older, certain heart conditions and stuff like that. So that'll be fun and interesting. But yeah, he's doing great. He's healthy. He's active. He's not a fan of the heat. That's why I got him over here in the shade right now. I keep having to come out here and film for a little bit and then go in and take a break and come out and film because he doesn't like the heat and he doesn't like not being able to see me, okay? If I try to leave him in the house and come out here and work, it sounds like a crime is happening in the house. He doesn't just whine, he screams in terror, which is understandable. I have no idea what kind of life he had before I found him. I imagine it was pretty bad because he had wounds all over his body, like cuts and stuff. So he probably had it pretty bad. And the last person that walked away from him never came back. So he doesn't want me walking away from him. He is connected to my hip. And that can be a little hard sometimes, especially going to get groceries and stuff. I can take him in like Dollar General and Dollar Tree. And so far I've gotten away with taking him in Walmart. But as he gets bigger, people might not, businesses might not be happy about that. So hopefully he grows out of it a little bit. But right now, I'd rather just adjust my life and my schedule to make him feel comfortable, because he's had such a hard life. I don't want to upset him, I guess. I want him to feel safe and calm right now. So we're eating at Dollar General here lately because I can't go to the grocery store. And I don't have anybody that can babysit him. So there you have it. Goodness, I was in partial shade and now I'm in full sun and I can't see. So thank y'all for watching. We're going to end the video here. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about this sink? You can be honest. Place your bets now on how long you think it will last. But this thing has so many layers, it's probably going to last a while. This part will probably come loose. I'll probably have to re-glue that or something. But I think the inside's going to be pretty watertight. So we'll see. Have a great week, and I will hopefully see you next Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm probably going to be installing more solar panels, because I bought 2 more solar panels and I bought an upgraded charge controller. So I need to get that installed. And then I will have 400 watts of solar. Hopefully that will help keep my big battery charged, because the 2 panels wasn't doing it. But Bubba, Josephus, he's very itchy because he's shedding a lot of bad skin. He had, I don't know what the vet called it, but he had, his skin was caked up. I don't know how to explain it. Imagine a baby with cradle cap. There you go, okay? It's kind of like he had a really bad case of cradle cap all over his body. So as he gets healthy and takes his vitamins and gets plenty of water and good food, he's getting better, but all of that cradle cap skin is falling off and it makes him very itchy. So he doesn't have fleas. You might see him scratching a lot in the videos, but that's just from that skin shedding off. So it's going to take him some time to get 100%, but he's already 90% better than 9 days ago. So we're doing pretty good. And I'm going to stop talking now. Have a great day. Bubba, come on. Come here. You're not going to come here. You're not going to come here. Mama's sitting in the ants again. Do you see me sitting in the ants again? I didn't learn my lesson, did I? Okay, come on. Mama help you. Come on.